Hi, everybody. Welcome to the new normal. I am your host, Lisa Davis, aka Litecoin Lisa, and today is Friday. So it's happy hour. You guys need to grab a drink and click the like button. Make sure you're subscribed and join us on the other side with my buddy Clint Westwood and a special guest, Satoshi Sean. See you in a minute. Happy Friday, you two. I see you guys chatting it up with everybody in the chat. Thanks to everybody in the chat for joining us. We got all of our friends, Magic Torch and Tom. Jim Montgomery's in there. Clint Westwood, you're even in the chat. You're in
Clint Westwood's everywhere. I know. It's octopus. He's everywhere.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Happy Hour. It's good to be here. It's good to see everyone.
Right. Love it. Is this Satoshi Sean's first happy hour? You might have been on one other time. I can't remember.
No, it's first time.
First one? Oh, Satoshi Sean. What you drinking today, Satoshi Sean? Because it's happy hour, right?
Yeah, it's happy hour.
Yeah, he's like, I'm drinking cough syrup right now.
Yeah,
Dude, I have year and a quarter old root beer moonshine that I made.
I hear some little shaking.
Moonshine.
Oh, I love it.
Root beer moonshine.
We were talking about this last night. Oh my god,
some good stuff.
So I love root beer.
I know. A little sassafras, because you're a little sassafras. That's why.
I don't know if I would be brave enough to drink.
It's really good.
Root beer moonshine.
Okay. Oh my gosh! See.
We're planning on heading down your way.
Yes, we are. Yeah. So definitely, we got some moonshine calling us, and then we'll find our way.
I was on an 8-hour stream last night till I think 4 a.m.
Well, that's why you don't feel good.
Yeah, right.
And then I can't do stuff and then go to bed. So then I was like, I just watched YouTube for 20 minutes. So 7 a.m. when I went to bed.
Next thing you know, the whole series, whatever's out. Is the new Ozark series out on Netflix? I think
I don't know. I've never watched Ozarks.
It's actually pretty good.
I'm so behind on so many things. I watched the Cowboy Bebop, and that was really good.
Cowboy what?
Bebop.
It was an anime from like back in the day, like when I was young, and they did a live action version of it, which it was really good, like crazy good special effects.
Wait, good. Aren't we still young?
You guys are. I'm not. I'm 73 years old.
And he looks great for 73. I'm telling you, all these people in the
that's why I say it, because somebody always says, you look amazing.
See, Lisa, it works. I told you.
That's Westwood's strategy. And
that's how I gave it.
It's really funny until someone sends me a message and goes, Lisa, you look amazing for 65. And I'm like,
well, she does, doesn't she?
They believed you.
You do.
No.
Well,
I mean, imagine.
No, yeah. I'm offended.
My niece said something. My nephew, my great niece. Yeah. So my nephew said something about old man. And then my niece said, he's not old. He's like 35.
Ooh.
There's a reason you're my favorite, Aubrey. They're really
right.
Is.
And then you're like, how much Litecoin do you want?
Right.
You get a node. I'm giving you a node.
That's right. Yeah.
Yep. No.
Oh, we're on this live stream, and in the end, it just spiraled into like I don't even know who was watching, but we were just all talking about crap. And a friend of mine, Bob Walker, who used to have a huge crypto channel, but now he just does.
I think I know him. What was he? Used to be was it Apollo or something? I'm trying to think.
Yeah, was it real huge? Apollo.
Yeah,
he had like a Facebook crypto group of like 200,000 people or something. It was crazy.
Wow.
But this is back, 17, 18. So that was really big back then. But he was talking about making apple pie moonshine. And then I told him I found some recipe for something I wanted to try, but I can't remember. I think it was apple moonshine.
I've got some here. Like Paulie said in the chat, my buddy brought some over and for the last Westwood meetup. And I'll tell you what, it was so smooth. And I mean, root beer, we had, I don't know, it's still under there. Don't make me break that out. If we go into a 6-hour, 8-hour happy hour, then I will be breaking it out, but don't make me do it. But
I did tell
some
my
under the bar.
husband that we might have an extended happy hour just because the two of you are both on here.
Well, you know what? I'll give Charlie a big hug next week because, I'm going to see him and, it'll all be fine. It'll be great. And speaking of next week.
A couple gallons of this Christmas before the last one. Yeah, I want those because they're very cool.
They're awesome. Yeah, Coin Vigilante.
Yeah, Coin Vigilante is getting married next week.
Yep.
And we're
congratulations.
Going,
is the Coin Vigilante the one that made them?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
They designed them.
He designed the whole thing.
Yeah, I saw the video when you had him on. And then I was like, oh, those are awesome. And then he said the price, and I was like, honestly, I don't want to say it, but I was expecting to be a little higher.
Seriously, they're quality.
It's reasonable.
They're really nice. I mean, they really are. And I don't wear watches. I just don't. But I got a Litecoin watch. I love the black, and I love the shiny, the silver look. And I mean, it's just I'll be wearing it next week at the wedding, and then I'm going to get up and I'm going to give a speech, and talk about Hannah and Carlos, and how great they are in the crypto space. No, I'm not.
Are you really?
No, I'm not. I'm just kidding. I might speak. It depends if I bring some of that root beer moonshine. I might.
I'll
jump up there and grab the mic.
Don't worry, Carlos. I will drag him outsid.
Give him a cigar.
Don't worry,
take him
Hannah.
Outside. He'll be fine.
Yeah, I'll drag him out.
Jars to like everybody. I think that's one of the Beatles. Sent like 20 mason jars of because I couldn't send bottles because that's against the law. It's against the law to send alcohol unless you're like paid to the government to get a license. If you're an alcohol distributor, you can mail them. But so I couldn't mail bottles. So I just sent the jars out to everybody and
canned goods.
We had it at my end of the year show, not last year, but the year before, and we all toasted.
How fun!
Because BitBoy doesn't drink, but
really,
yeah.
That surprises me.
But everyone else did.
If you're good in business, typically I found that the people who are really good in business, they really don't drink. So, that's what I'm serious. Look at Donald Trump. He doesn't drink.
Well, okay, one person.
It's one guy. Yeah.
I know.
One guy.
I'm trying to think of every.
I'm not good in business and I drink. So I guess that's where I come from.
Every office I ever worked at, we all drank in the office. Except the first one, because that was kind of like a cult. But that was
into all kinds of other things.
that was a cult, man. That was a total cult. We had prayer meetings once a week, which was like, oh, it's nice. We have prayer meetings. But then it was just really using religion for
just for
manipulation. You mean like
it was more like
the Catholic Church uses?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, it was like, hey, he would like read verses about how lazy we are, and you're not getting enough sales.
Wow, tie it into the Bible. That makes it all right.
Yeah, then it was
almost every network marketing thing here in Oklahoma that the women do. They also partner with a Bible study and use the Bible to like manipulate, guilt trip you, and you're successful, then you're blessed, and that's because
that's right.
you're
blessed.
Yeah,
I'm Benny Hinn, and I'm blessed. I deserve to be here. I deserve to have.
Wow, I haven't heard that.
God has blessed me. God has blessed us all. Please send a love gift. For this forever message.
So I also cannot sleep, like if I'm especially like working or doing like, especially being around people and having a lot of energy and stuff. Like I have to like go watch something mindless to like disengage to be able to go to sleep.
So you watch the press conferences out of the White House. You fall asleep.
Well, that would bore anyone to sleep. Yes, but I watched that Tammy Faye documentary.
Yeah,
so I've been thinking about it.
That's some twisted.
Is that on Netflix? Is that just out recently?
It's on Netflix. Yeah,
really?
It's just recently released. Okay. Mm-hmm.
I remember
stuff.
My mom was a theologian. She was a doctorate, in theology, and then she was also a reverend in a few churches when I was growing up. But this just when I was younger, she didn't like she just had reverend on her checks. When I was older, she didn't really do anything. She ran all the foreign students for Texas. But when everything was going on with, what was his name? The dude.
Swaggart?
Yeah, when he got
Jimmy
busted
Swaggart?
for cheating.
He's up there crying. Oh,
yeah.
yes.
All this was happening. And like we went to this mega church here and it was like a really big deal because it was, destroying credibility. It's like the Catholic Church when they did, destroyed the credibility of them. So it's like it was a really big deal. And everyone's like, why is God letting this happen? And my mom had this like vision, and then she like went up before the church, and and she said that like God said, "Who do you think exposed everything? Do you think I want this going on? No,
Right.
So it was easier to deal with about the Tammy Faye thing.
We had a local pastor here
time.
that was cheating on his wife, and it was exposed, and we were like big donors in the church.
Literally.
So they called us and, wanted to make sure, they were handling all of us.
Yeah.
And I told them, like, first of all, I'm offended that you're calling me. Are you calling every member of the church? And they're like, oh, well, because you guys are such highly involved members. And I was like, oh, because we give a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, I'm just really offended that you guys are making this big of a deal about it, because a sin is a sin is a sin. He's a sinner, just like she's a sinner, just like I'm a sinner. Like the whole point of it, I saw a cartoon, and I share this like a million times. I don't know, every time I get a chance, but it was like a little, like a newspaper cartoon, and it said the way humans see sin. And it showed like a chart with like a block chart, and it was like murder, and it was this high, and it was like stealing or theft. It was like, the blocks went up about this high. And then it was like lying, and it was like this high. And then it was like, you turned perspective, so you're looking straight down on the blocks, and it says the way God sees sin.
It's a red line.
3 squares.
Yeah, it's just doesn't matter.
A sin is a sin is a sin. And, so when these churches like, oh, devastated that he cheated on his wife. Well, he probably lies on his taxes too. And he probably does lots of other things too.
The thing is, you got to understand.
It's really between those two people, and, anyway.
Well, it is, but you got to understand that it was Satan. It was not him. It was not his own free will. It was Satan had taken him down into the dirt. He had gone.
Now they're lying.
Y'all are talking about this, and we're not talking about crypto, but I do want to say first that I did say on Tuesday we're going to drop to like 38, and we are at 38.
And right now,
wow,
I got the
Litecoin's down at what, 120? Something like that.
No,
yeah, it was 123.
$115 right now. Bitcoin is $36,850 right now.
That is
I got
nuts.
tickers in the bar, live tickers.
But now you guys are talking about this. I saw this story, and this will blow your mind, man. So this is just true story. In England, when I think it was 1973, so I was like just born.
And I was born, same age.
There was this guy who was a very, loved guy, very happy guy, had a big family, in this small town, and he was working on his house, fell down off the ladder, and he hurt his back. Then he couldn't get back to work. Whole demeanor changed. He was just, very angry guy. Fighting with his family. The whole thing changed. Everyone could see it. So his friend said, "Hey man, you should try going to this prayer group at the what's it called? The unit, whatever the big church of England is. You gotta go to this
Anglican church.
Yeah, that's it.
Henry VIII split off because he wanted to get divorced in the Catholic
so
Church.
So he says, go to this one specific prayer group. This girl's there. She's like 21, super charismatic. Everyone loves her. Not to say that it's a cult, but everybody goes there just because she's so energetic and charismatic. So he goes to this prayer group. This woman stands up. She's like super, nice. Everything that he had heard. He like has a wonderful time, and he has no pain. His back is fine. Everything's like he was like happy, and then he leaves. As soon as he leaves, he has back pain again. Everything hurts. So he's like obsessed now with always going to this prayer group. He's like always, talking to this girl, and then it starts to get around. They're having an affair. So his wife, is sure he's having an affair. So he's at a prayer group. His wife busts into this prayer group, and she said, "I know you're having an affair with Sally Johnson." Blah blah blah. Calls him out. He stands up and he growls at her, and his face. His wife said, his wife and other people said that his face turned into the face of a demon, like they could see a difference, and everybody kind of freaked out. So they literally called the Anglican Church of like the headquarters, and they said, "Hey, we need an exorcism. This dude is possessed." So completely true story. You guys could look this up. It's mind blowing. So so the next day, these two priests come down from London, and they interview the guy, talk to him, and they go, "Oh yeah, you're super possessed, dude." They said that they identified 37 or 39 demons.
39 named demons.
39 named demons that
Yeah.
they found in this guy. So they like have to do an exorcism, but you have to sign these papers. You have to agree to everything. It's super legal, which is another thing that's weird. So he signs his papers. He agrees to everything. They go to this old church, and they start to do the exorcism. And he's in like writhing around in pain. Just if you ever saw exorcism, this is pretty rough. So they do this for like 9 hours, and they're exhausted. And they tell the guy, "Hey, we've exorcised 37 demons. These last 2 are fighting us really super hard." And the guy's like collapsed on the ground. He's out of it. They're like, we're gonna go back. We're gonna come back tomorrow. We're gonna start the fight up to get these other 2 demons out.
These last 2, it's round 2. We're coming back tomorrow, and we're going to be refreshed.
So he goes home. They go to like a hotel, and then the police get a call, so they go over to his house, and he had beat his wife to death with his hands, ripped her face off,
and frazzled rip.
And then there was just blood everywhere. So it's just one of the most gruesome killings in all of British history. So he goes to court for murder, obviously, and the prosecution and the defense blame the Church of England because they said that they made this guy believe that he had demons in him, and that he was just insane. But that the church made him believe he had demons in him, so that was what gave him the catalyst to do it. His kids weren't there because he was having the exorcism that day. They sent them to a babysitter, so they were fine. But he got convicted of a reason of insanity, and then he's actually out now and alive, and supposedly the 2 demons are still there.
Wow, they never got the last 2 demons.
No.
Huh.
What's the punchline?
Yeah.
I kept waiting for the punchline.
There's a video on it on
That's a true story.
It's true.
One of the worst cases.
Oh my god! I kept waiting for the punchline.
No, there's no punchline in life. Sometimes you just get punched in the face over and over.
That is horrible.
I think I'll look up that video if I can. I think it's called 37 Demons or something.
I thought you were going to go somewhere when you started talking about the UK and somebody funny. I thought it was going to be Jimmy Savile. But, he's not really that funny. And then you look at who he's friends with, and then it takes you down another rabbit hole. But anyway.
No, you guys were talking about it. Like, literally, here we go. Yep. Hey, it's got like 3 million views.
Hey, Westwood, will Litecoin regain itself in the top 10 cryptos?
Never. Litecoin's dead. You don't want to invest in it. It's the worst time to buy. when it's on sale, you don't want to buy something. And that's a general rule in my life. When something goes on sale, that's why I buy lumber at the peak. I built this, pavilion out here, bought lumber at the peak. I mean, you always want to buy at the top. So, if Litecoin's like under $120 a coin, oh, absolutely don't want to buy it. I'm Mr. Sarcasm here. But it's Litecoin with the fundamentals that it has. Go listen on Wednesday nights to Litecoin Underground on Twitter. That he has spaces. And, there are a lot of people in the Litecoin community and the foundation even that come in and talk about Litecoin, what the foundation, what the fundamentals are. Absolutely stupidly undervalued right now. The price of Litecoin is $116.40.
That's so crazy.
It is so crazy because there's only going to be 84 million. 84 million Litecoin, and how many have been lost? There's only 69 million that have been mined out. Absolutely ridiculous for what it does. Everybody I've talked to, they talk about, hey, if I send value, if I want to send money, if I want to transfer money, they use Litecoin because it's so cheap and the reliable network that it has. It is such an undervalued asset. I would say it's probably more undervalued than silver right now. It might be a tie. I mean, honestly,
so
ridiculous.
We know what's going on with the Fed reports coming out and, the dollar dying and all that. We also know that in the grand scheme of things, crypto is only a small % of the market. And the big dogs all know that crypto is the future.
Right.
It's very possible that this is a manipulation.
Likely.
And that these prices are being held down so that they can all buy in over the counter.
Go watch.
And this thing's going to launch bigger than you're going to ever see.
It's going to be ridiculous because
very quickly.
And if you go back and you look at the charts, there's a long-term channel on Litecoin, and we're really scraping the bottom of it and touching the bottom of it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the upward channel of Litecoin, what it is, because all these cryptos, it's all math. It's all based on, how many people there are, how many cryptos there are. It follows a cycle. And if you look at it, Litecoin is at the bottom. I mean, what can it go to 100? Yeah, it can probably go to 100. But the thing is, if it goes to 100, at that point, everybody, I'll sell my Digibug probably, maybe. No, I probably won't. No, I'll sell something to get into Litecoin just because
that's it at the end there.
It's absolutely ridiculous how cheap it is. Yeah, what do we got here?
I'm really do not like dark stuff. So.
Oh, is this dark energy? Is this the exorcism stuff? Okay.
Yeah, I probably won't play that.
Exorcise the demons.
Anyway, so if you guys want to watch that.
It always tells like crazy, weird stories that are just
if you want to follow him,
true stories.
Everybody can see that. Go follow him.
Yes,
and,
you can go
get into the woo.
Like in the U.S., they have like a Lake Okeechobee monster, and we have the Goat Man here,
Swamp Ape,
where I live.
And
so I always my
Sasquatch.
nieces and nephews they say their house is haunted, but I'm like, no, it's a Goat Man. Like my niece, she'd have a slumber party, and she goes, Uncle Sean, there's someone outside and it's hitting the window. I'm like, yeah, it's Goat Man. You live in the country. The Goat Man is there. He is outside your house.
No, but seriously, that's a theme, though, throughout history, because you look at Nathaniel Hawthorne's works, and the Scarlet Letter, it was one of the things he wrote, famous thing you might read, with the A for adultery on, but they believed when the settlers came over here that the forest, that's where the devil lives. I mean, that's where the darkness is, and they stay out of the forest, don't go in there at night. And, there's things lurking out there. And so I think every group of people across the country have their own traditions, whether Native Americans, wherever you are, you have
Chupacabra.
That. Exactly. I mean, you have those personified demons, those things that lurk out there because there is dark energy out there and we give different names to it. And, it's just like, and I think a lot of the dark energy, it's the people, it's people who do things and manifest bad things. And so there's always that in our minds, bad things that can happen. And, 37 demons inside.
When we first moved here and everyone was talking about the Goat Man, I was like, it's some devil worshiper somebody saw on the road,
Possibly, yeah.
The goat head on. That's all. I mean, and I was like 12, 13. I'm like, that's obviously what it was. Why would you think it was anyone else? Like, no, it's a Goat Man. There's weird stuff around. Like
the Jersey Devil. You know, Lisa, we talked
Yeah,
about
don't
that.
bring that up, dude.
The New Jersey Devils, you know, you're talking
Don't
about
bring
they
that
have a
up,
hockey
dude.
team. I know, right?
I was born there.
Were you?
So he knows about it too.
So you know
Yeah.
all about,
We learned about that in 3rd grade, and
See?
who the
Why would you teach children about that?
who would
It's
teach
a
a bunch of
little
What is
graders?
history
wrong with
thing.
them?
We had to watch a movie about it. We learned all about it, and then guess what we did after that?
Went out in the woods.
We had a field trip to the Pine Barrens.
Did you really?
How
Did you
fun
go out
was
to the
that?
place where they think it happened, where they
Yeah,
sprang from
yeah.
the body?
Yeah, we're 3rd graders, dude.
Okay.
We were horrified. We were
Okay,
Traumatized.
scared.
but that reminds me of
Next time we go
this.
for the Jersey meetup this year, we're gonna have to take a little field trip. We're gonna have to take a few extra days,
Okay,
and we're gonna
wait.
go out there and we're gonna film live. It's gonna be like a Blair Witch happy hour.
This
And
is
the movie we watched,
happy
it wasn't
hour,
like-
so
It wasn't like,
this
you know,
is-
oh, this is lore. It was like, you know, like eyewitness stuff, you know, like a documentary. People like, yeah, we were out in the woods and then it got cold, so we went in our
Mothman.
car, and then we all heard the screams, and then I mean, it was like by the end of the class, we're like, oh yeah, it's totally real. There's a Jersey Devils, 13th kid born to this woman,
Cursed
came
it.
out like a demon, jumped out of the shack where they lived in the middle of the woods, and it's been
Right.
living out there.
You know
ever
the
since.
story? Yeah. I mean, see,
Yeah.
we need a happy hour woo tour. That's what we need. We can combine Wednesdays, you know, the woo woo, and then have a happy hour woo tour, and we can go in these different places. Tell you what, you know, the next thing you know, we're on the Travel Channel or something.
I had when I was a kid, you know, I'd keep my broken home. They call them single parent homes now, but when I was a kid, I got picked on because it was a broken home. But I was in a Big Brother program, and my big brother worked for the for City Hall in Ocean City. And right after that, he's like, Sean, we're going to go to the Pine Barrens next weekend. And I was like, why? He goes, because we're going to get a bunch of pine trees to come back to build sand dunes on the beach. And then I didn't want to go. I was horrified because I was with my class and everybody. And then we're going with 10 people. And I was like, nah, I don't want to go. It's like, well, so he had a cop come from Ocean City with us who was armed because I was so horrified, scared to go deep into the Pine Barrens.
because born in 70, born in 80,
Oh, I love that video.
born in 90, 2000. Oh. Homes
Yeah, I was
with
talking to
no
someone.
walls.
I was talking to someone who's like able to drink, and they were talking about being born in 2000. And I was like, what?
It's crazy.
Because like Johnny said, they're
It's just so weird.
You know, and a lot of it's no fault through their own. It's just that's where society has become, and that's where we have to root them and get them.
Back in the 70s, they told them scary stories and took them to the woods.
Right. It's true.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, okay, hey, you know what? Deal with it. And now it's, oh, everything's so dramatic. Oh, let's post it and then let's
and be a victim of it.
Right.
But it's
Everybody's a victim.
it's finally imploding on itself, you know?
It is.
Because it gets so terrible. And then, you know, just like the Me Too movement. I mean, you believe every woman. There are women who are terrible people.
Yeah.
You know,
we've
men
got
who are
some who
terrible
are
people.
so-called elected officials who
Yeah, I mean,
can't stand up there and do an interview without, you know, smirking and laughing like the Joker the whole time.
Yeah. Also, dude, people are they're so terrible.
Willie Brown.
AOC, I can't believe that she did this. It's like the biggest step back for women. You know,
It really is.
Like someone did something, and then she said, "Oh, they're all just mad because they can't date me."
Oh, because they want me. Because they want me.
You really
And it's
just
like,
say that?
What? That's
Did
like
you
total
just-
flip.
Yeah, if anyone said, you know, that on the other side, it would be the worst thing ever. The fact that you said that I was floored. I've been floored so many times the past 2 weeks with Biden and the MLK thing. With her saying
That
that,
was disgraceful.
yeah, it's shocking.
Disgraceful that his comment about.
But see, I embrace that because
MLK.
it wakes people up. I mean, you know, it has to get almost horrific and almost to the level of
It's
tragic
horrifying.
comedy to where people wake up. I mean, because nothing wakes people up, it seems. It's just like everybody's just in this mind-numbed robot phase to where they're just not paying attention. They have to be shaken out of the slumber. And, everything that's happened here in the last year, 2 years, year and a half, whatever it is, I mean, it wakes people up because it hits them right in the gut, and that's what has to happen. I'm like, wake the frick up, everybody, and it's happening though. And that's a good thing, I think. So let it continue.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Alex, roll that beautiful bean footage.
Maybe I'm kidding myself.
Maybe you are.
The voter who is just trying to figure out, as I said, how to take care of their family, put 3 squares on the table, stay safe, be able to pay their mortgage, rent, etc. Is becoming much more informed on the motives of some of the political players and some of the political parties. And I think that they are not going to be as susceptible to believing some of the outlandish things that have been said and continue to be said. Every president, not necessarily in the first 12
Wait,
months,
this
every
gets
president
good.
the first couple of years, most every president, the last presidents, at least 4 of them, have had polling numbers that are 44% favorable. So it's this idea that, but you all, not you all, but now it is, well, Biden's at one poll showed at 33%. The average is 44, 45%. One poll meant 49%. I mean, the idea that the American public are trying to sift their way through what's real and what's fake.
American Republic of
And
China?
I don't think
What?
I've never seen a time when the political coverage, the choice of what political
Dun, dun, dun.
It's painful. I mean, at
It
least
is.
I don't care what you
It's
think about
painful.
Trump. It doesn't matter. At least the guy entertained you and kept you awake. I mean, honestly, at least he was up there, had vibrance,
Well,
had
the
life and
video
energy.
stopped, and I couldn't tell if the video stopped.
God.
It was just he was taking a pause.
Ugh.
So.
No, but he's telling the truth. And see, that's what makes me think Lisa, you call yourself the hopium hustler. That's where I think that in a lot of ways, you're
I've
right.
been called the hopium hustler,
You've
but
been
I
called
embrace
it, yes.
I embrace
You're
it.
talking about
You embrace it.
all
But
those
you-
presidents had 44% approval ratings. I don't think that was ever a thing.
Where's the number coming from? I don't even know. He's just making it up. But the thing is, he's right in the truth that he's telling there. And it makes me think that, okay, is this guy just a plant who is just going through the motions, who is just trying to awaken people? Because he is awakening people. There's no doubt about it. People are saying, well, this is nuts. This is absolutely out of control. We need to take control of our lives. I mean, these people can't do it anymore. We have to, at the local level, do something about this. And when he says you have to make a choice, shit I say, you got to make a choice. We're at that point in we're at a crossroads. We have to make the choice. The crossroads, and all that represents in the music industry. But it's one of those things where he's telling you where we're at. And I mean, he's just another messenger. And I mean, I watched yesterday, I think it was yesterday, on the Today Show. I watched it every day just to get, oh my God, just to see
What the normies
the
do.
brainwashing, that they're going to do for the day. And, they had Savannah Guthrie interviewing Kamala. And I'll tell you what, Kamala was offended because Savannah was coming at her with some good questions. And she's not any, if you watched it, she's not, any conservative or anything. But, the offense that she took, Kamala took as almost, how dare you ask me that? And she's almost ready to break out into laughter like a joker all the time. I mean, she's way out of her league. And it's just when people see this more and more, it resonates at a deeper level to where it's like you people are making, calling the shots. I mean, this, we're going to listen to this and we're going to believe this. And I think it wakes more people up. It really does.
It does, because like he goes out and does something that's terrible, but now the damage control people are they mess it up more.
They do. I mean, it's a clown show.
Kamala went out to fix stuff, and then she ended up messing stuff up
more. It was just completely worse. And people are like, what is this joke that we're watching? What is this movie that we're watching? And, and that's when I'm like, well, you know what? Maybe it is a big movie. Maybe it is nothing more than a psyop to wake everybody up.
Yeah, I just don't see how it can continue to go on so much longer. I don't speak whatever language this is. I guess Portuguese, because it's the El Salvador president posting. If anybody speaks Portuguese, please translate. What the heck is going on here? I sent it to Mame, and I was like, please tell me what's going on here. These guys are beating the crap out of each other with their plastic shields, ripping off their face masks. I'm like, yes, whatever this is.
Amen, Lord. Amen.
Like someone is damn mad. They're not just mad, they're damn mad.
But that's happening all over the world, and it's not being reported because the people are done. The people are done. They're in the streets
Rogan,
everywhere.
And him and Tim. Tim, he said something about that. This just reminds them of the America. It reminds them of like the end of the Roman Empire.
That's what we're at. That's where we're at.
And they were talking about how, we were talking about this a lot on that live stream last night, in the later hours, about the homeless problem. Because there was a lot of people that are from, Germany, Switzerland, and they were talking. And then first we started talking about the press and how each like European press talks about American, and shows the worst stuff. And then how in the United States, they don't show us anything that's going on over there because it all goes against the narrative of what they want to push here. So we were all talking about that. And I was telling them, they don't show any of the riots over in Europe on our press. They don't show all the anti-lockdown riots, all the opposition to it. They think that, everyone's happy because they just give what the government says is what we hear, not what people say about it. So they were all like surprised about that. And they literally just hear about all the homeless people, everywhere. And I was like, no. And then this other guy that was on, his name was Sean. He was talking about there's different places in America. Like California is its own. California and New York are their own thing. They're completely different. Texas and Florida are really their own thing. They're completely different. There's like Oklahoma and Arkansas, and they're like more towards how Texas is. And then there's the North. So he was trying to explain that it's not just California everywhere and New York everywhere. But then there was a guy that is from Germany who's living in California. And we're talking about the stupidity. First, we're talking about the stupidity of government. And then I was talking more of like conspiracy kind of stuff, because I was talking about how they don't let the problem get fixed. It was obvious to me when there was this one guy, he was a radio dude, or I forget, he had a lot of influence. That's all I know. And then he raised like a couple $1 million for the homeless, and he built like 1,000 or 100 tiny homes that were nice, small, tiny homes, could hold like 3 to 4 people comfortably. They could live. And then he even like brought it down the property. Everything was clear. And he put all these tiny homes there and gave it to fix the homeless problem. The city came and grabbed them all right away, which is okay. So they say, no, you can't do that. It's against the law. So after they grabbed the houses, here's the thing. They destroyed them within 48 hours. Why would you destroy them?
Why not just put them in some kind of like storage until they can have a hearing
or give it back to the guy?
Because it's his property.
Right. But
like,
they destroyed
that's just like when those Trump flags would get pulled on, like I would go to those baseball things or whatever. The guy would go to the baseball things and they'd say he'd have those Trump won flags and they would pull his flags and he's like, I know my rights, give me my property.
Right, but my point was that these are taken by the city and then the city destroyed them within 48 hours. Why would they destroy them except to keep the homeless problem? They could have done whatever they needed to do and then give them to the city.
They want to keep getting all the grants from the government.
I think it's much more nefarious than that. Because now what I've seen is that there are these giant corporations like BlackRock, Zillow, and other ones that are buying up all the affordable housing.
And you know what, Sean? And I'm going to shut
corporations
up. But they get loans at 0% interest, don't they?
Right.
They get loans for under a 1% interest. They're feeding at that spigot of free money before we ever get it. So they buy it all up. And they hold it and they drive the price up like the beers did with diamonds. I mean, it's a complete rigged game.
Like with that, rather than try to force Marxism on people to accept it, they can literally use capitalism to institute Marxism by buying everything on the market and manipulating the market like they're doing, forcing people out, buying everything cheap. And then whenever anyone comes back, everyone just rents. Everyone is going to not.
They want a nation of serfs. That's what they want.
You'll own nothing and you'll be happy.
That's it. Exactly. That's the great reset. I say we need to have the great reject. That's what we need to do, and we need to find ways out of it. And that it all comes down to the money. It all comes down to the ability to print that money and access to that money. Well, the thing is that money's unsound, and so that's why it's so important in cryptocurrency. I mean, it really is. We have to just say no. Quit feeding it. I don't care what the price of whatever crypto you like is. Get more of it. I mean, that's what you got to do, to opt out of that system and continue, and then build a new system to where it's like, I only accept crypto as a business. You know what? Fine. I'm just going to accept crypto and I'm going to make it work. And you just have to make that choice. And that's what it comes down to. You make that choice to where I'm out. I'm done feeding vampires, not giving them energy. I'm just done. You've had enough. And we've got to get angry enough. It's like that network, to where it's like, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore, and you've got to get to that point.
You guys have.
You muted yourself, Lisa.
Yeah, she's gone. Unmute.
I don't know why it does this when I switch from.
It's an adapter, because
you
I
have
tap the table and then it goes out.
Well, it's that too, but there's many problems. But this guy won the internet for me today. This sweet. I don't know if he's a farmer or not. I love farmers.
Probably.
God bless America and all the alpha males. And he had a message for Sleepy Joe. And this is happy hour, so I'm assuming it's an adult audience. I also have my
here.
My
the whole
YouTube
country's a bunch of adults that are
I also have my YouTube.
If you're born after 2000, my God, 2000, you're an adult.
Exactly.
Joe Biden this morning.
Did it freeze for everybody, or just
I don't hear it either. Lisa, I can't hear it.
Oh, Lisa, you're muted.
For goddamn laws, and we got people out there on the streets laying there for nothing. What about the 13 families that lost their kids over there? You gonna give them $150,000, or they ain't good enough? I know you doing all that shit for a vote, but you'll never get my fucking vote. You're a smart ass old bastard. If you'd have talked to me like that and I'd had a microphone in my hand, I'd hit you right upside your goddamn head with it if I could have. I'd have thrown the son of a bitch at you anyway. I might have missed, but I'd like to hit you right in your fucking mouth. Won't you get me up behind you? You invited Trump behind the goddamn shed. Well, I'll go with you in a flat ass second, you sorry bastard.
Woo!
Joe Biden this morning is watching Fox News.
Arrested and taken to Guantanamo.
I love that man.
Lock him up. No, but that's what it takes. I mean, what are you going to do? Assault an old guy? That's how I want to be when I'm like, 30 years from now. And it's like, hey, I'm an old guy. What are you going to do to me? I'm going to go out there and I'm going to yell at you. Come on, bring it. Bring it on.
I'm telling you, but that goes back to that video where it's like born in 70.
Right.
Born in whatever,
You've got that history and that
that's
connection.
That's back when men were men and men knew how to stand up and say,
no, this is stupid. I don't give a shit. It's stupid. It's stupid. You know, I don't believe in that. That's not what I work for. You know, and I'm not going to support that. You know, and that's what needs to happen. Like you said, men need to be men, need to stand up and say enough is enough. You know, you people are a bunch of cardboard cutouts. You know, you're paid by God knows who, you know, what demon system, you know, is giving you money. And they stand up there and, oh, you know, these effeminate males and, oh, well, you know, it's you know, the science says, and yeah, right. You know, I'm done with it.
It's so true. I remember being as a kid growing up, just people in general were more ready to be uncomfortable for what was right. Like even if you liked something, you know, I really like this jelly, but if I find out that, you know, they're like abusing, you know, people in this country that pick the fruit and they're bribing, you know, officials and they're doing this terrible corporation, I'm not going to eat that jelly, even though I love it. And people today won't do that. People today will post a meme about it. They will go to their website and tell them how much they hate it.
But you'll keep doing
none
it.
of that matters. They're still going to buy the jelly. And that's what the corporation wants. That's what I'm guilty of it too. You know, Netflix came out with that kiddie porn show.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I was like, terrible. You know, I posted about it, but I was like, I have to get rid of Netflix. And that's like, you don't want to do that. It's Netflix. That's become, you know, like your cable and everything. So I said, all right, I'm going to not renew my Netflix. But I should have just canceled it, even though I had like 3 weeks left. And then they took it off the air. You know, it's only in France or whatever. So, okay, I let it slide. I kept Netflix. But, you know, 20, 30 years ago, instantly everybody would have just canceled their subscription. You know, bop, screw that. You know, we're done. And that is how we need to get back to. But people are so used to comfort that they won't do that.
You know, there's things that people will at some point people will, because I didn't cancel my Netflix either, I admit. But when it came to my kid, I pulled my kid out of school and I'm homeschooling my kid.
Yep.
And I still eat like crap. But when Uncle Cliff started saying, stop drinking aspartame, you guys, I gave up the Fresca. I gave up the Fresca. I'm having Tito's and AHA.
There you go.
There's no aspartame. It's sparkling water.
What about Squirt?
It's got high fructose corn syrup in it.
I think that has aspartame too. I don't know.
Well, regular Squirt does. Diet Squirt
also,
has aspartame.
I don't know where you would get Squirt. Plus, that sounds like it has tons of sugar in it. I can't have that much sugar.
There's a lot of sugar.
Yeah, I can't do sugar.
It's very good.
I'll be like, have a coma.
So next time you see Litecoin Lisa on Happy Hour on the road, she's gonna be drinking Jack on the rocks. No mix.
No, that's too much sugar. I can't do that. But I'm just saying. I guess
rocks have no sugar.
The rocks are clean.
On the Jack, the Jack has all the sugar. But I guess my point of saying that, my point of saying that is that there is like, for me, like, I'll cheat a little bit for the Netflix, whatever. But when it comes to my kid, like, no, I'm willing to have the pain of like pull him out. Fine, I'll figure out. I'll do the homeschool thing. As much as I never wanted to do that, all that.
To not have kids. Look at the massive movement to break the family. You don't need kids.
Yeah,
kids are stupid.
That's the whole plan.
That's been going on.
Break the family up.
Because
Lisa, you know that.
That's a big line. But if you take that out of the equation, people are a lot more easy to control. You know.
Yeah, because
they've been trying to break the family for a long time. That started, I mean, I don't even know when that started, but that was, that you've been seeing that in the people with welfare, telling them, don't put the dad on the birth certificate, because if you do, then we're going after him for child support, and then he's not going to love you anymore. So that was part of the way they structured, you're going to get your check, but don't put daddy's name on the birth certificate. So they wanted to destroy the family.
Is the worst thing.
And then creating the whole situation where we needed two family members to work, where mom couldn't stay home and have that nurturing family, Is
It's
your
not Leave It to Beaver
computer
anymore.
talking to you again?
Go watch, the Leave It to Beaver lifestyle. Back in the 50s, it was probably the richest, the most wealthiest, most purchasing power we had in this country. You got a guy that goes to work, his wife stays home, the kids, they go to college, take vacations, you got a car, you pay off your house, and now you can't even stay above water because of inflation, because they've created a bunch of money.
There's
We
music
talk about that all the
playing
time.
somewhere.
It's not me. I'm not going to get you banned this time.
It's 5 o'clock on a Friday. Yeah, computer tells me I have to party now.
It's 5 o'clock at the
time to
Westwood
get
bar all
down.
the time. So
It does that,
you're just
yeah.
warming up.
Westwood Jenny Constantine is telling you hello. We need to have Jenny on for a happy
Hello,
hour.
Jenny
sometime.
Constantine. I know. We're
We
going to have
miss
tequila
her.
shots. We're going to have all kinds of fun.
That's right.
When are we going to meet again on the road?
We love our Jenny Constantine. I think she is going to be at Bix's meetup in Phoenix. That is my plan.
Am I going
She
to that?
also, yes, she is also
How am I
not
gonna
a
get there?
mask.
I don't fly.
Her name
You're
is
gonna-
Constantine. She does
Jenny
tarot.
Constantine.
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty.
She's a badass.
She's
Yes,
a pretty
she's
girl.
very
You know,
cool.
Not only a
Constantine is
pretty
great.
girl, but a pretty badass girl.
Here, Jenny, I'll send you a link if you can jump in.
Jump
See,
in.
she says I'll be there.
All right. I'm going to get a cigar. It's after
Constantine,
5.
the comic book character.
Keep talking.
Tell us all about it. Who's Constantine?
Oh, it's
I
like
know nothing about it.
supernatural, fights demons and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, my husband tells me about this. Is it like a
Keanu Reeves played in the
vampire or
movie.
something?
No, he's Constantine. He's that's Blade. Keanu Reeves played him in a movie. Constantine.
No, I think this is really her name.
Yeah, that's cool. That's her name, and that she does that because of Constantine, the superhero.
Yeah, no, she's pretty amazing. So, Jenny, if you want to join us, I'll send you a link. I texted it to you just now. So, Constantine is an exorcist, she says.
Yeah,
And-
mainly.
Yeah,
But then they also try to just attack him and kill him all the time, and he fights him and kills them.
but she
he's
has
like,
a
well,
giant
fuck that.
silver sword that Bix gave her, so she can
That's cool.
wield that on people. Yeah,
I have a giant Thundercat sword that lights up.
that's kind of the same thing. Except I don't think you can trade yours for as much, maybe. I don't know. Depends on the market, I guess.
Yeah, I have to go to a Comic-Con.
It's all about the market, right?
Sounds
It's
like
the
Lake
free
Lisa
market.
needs a refill.
Not yet.
Not quite.
Sean bought me this for Christmas. This is my Christmas gift.
Nice.
Isn't that nice? What's the topic? Oh, that's hilarious, Jenny.
What
you're
you
so
smoking,
sweet.
Westwood?
What you smoking, Westwood? Jenny says, "What's the topic?"
I'm
this
smoking
evening
a
before
Gurkha
she
Titan. The
jumps
topic
in.
is whatever you want to make it. It's happy hour.
Did you say
It's
a gherkin?
happy.
A Gurkha Titan.
Gurkha. Yes,
Yeah.
okay.
Big old fat one.
Isn't Gurkhas the Indian?
It might be. I don't know. Turkish, maybe. I'm not sure. Might be.
Maybe they are.
Indian.
Yeah, they're Turkish.
Divvy
You're a
Daddy
warrior.
is in the house.
Divvy Daddy's in the house. I'll tell you what.
Hello,
I
Divvy
didn't know.
Daddy.
Divvy Daddy didn't know about me, and I didn't know about him.
Oh my
we've seen
gosh.
each other. We've crossed paths.
Sweetest guy.
In
Yeah.
Texas, we met, and I'll tell you what, I gave that boy a big hug, and I call him a boy because he's younger than me. But I'll tell you what,
Great guy.
love the dude. Absolutely love the dude. His wife, beautiful
Yes.
child. I mean, just an amazing time.
And we don't call her Divvy Mama. We call her Hot Mama.
She was a hot Debbie mama. So,
Yes.
he's done well. And he told me some things that I didn't know about, about beavers in Oregon. And, I had no idea, it was an amazing experience, just hanging with Divvy Daddy. I know, right? There's certain things I keep secret, but, Divvy Daddy knows what I'm talking about. So,
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know. But he has the most beautiful, he has other children too that I didn't get to see, but he has the most beautiful little baby boy that has these darling little cherub cheeks.
she's laughing.
And I got to give him his first silver coin and gave him a little silver Litecoin. It was so cute.
And what
So we
a
had
what a
fun
great
doing that.
picture that was. Just looking
It's
at
so
it, and
cute.
holding it, and just that, that's
Well, he's
humanity has
probably
an affinity.
brilliant.
It probably is. It's just, you got to grow up and express yourself, and be able to get it out, because we come in as children of God, and I'm losing my breath. That's what we are, and so, we try and work through these bodies, these shells, these avatars to get out, what our spirit has to bring to this world as we grow up. And, I can just see it right there. He just, the resonance and Silver just knew. Great family. Love them. Just amazing. Crypto Confidential, by the way. Go check them out. I got it on my website linked, cryptoconfidential.com.
Yeah, that was another thing that I learned about this last weekend at Ben's event in Texas. That there were so many great people there.
I wish y'all would invite me to that one.
Oh, stop. You're invited to everything.
No, Ben said you better not come or I'm going to fight you.
Ben would never say that.
I would love
why?
to see that. I'll referee that one. Let's bring it on. Let's get the rope.
I'm selling tickets to that. I get all the commission.
Join Lisa's Patreon.
NFT.
You can get tickets. I've got an NFT. Speaking of NFTs, all right, sidetrack.
Yeah, talk about what you did
about NFTs. OmniLite. Okay,
because I'm trying to resend Jenny.
You can create NFTs on Litecoin now. And if you download the OmniLite wallet, go to omnilite.org. It's basically the core wallet, that you download, the Litecoin core wallet, but it's got an OmniLite, functionality built into it, same thing. And so you become a node. And so if you download the OmniLite wallet, and you can create NFTs, and I've created NFTs. Lisa, go to open up the web browser and go to explorer.omnilite.org. I know I'm going to make you work, Lord. Explorer.omnilite.org.
I have to write the word explorer.
Yeah, type it in the address bar, up at the top of the web browser, explorer.omnilite.org. And you can explore all the NFTs that have been created. It's like 1,200, tokens that have been created on the Litecoin network now. I created some because I'm trying to, figure it out. And so I'll show you one.
A beaver NFT.
I'm going to give anybody that wants to email me and send me their Litecoin address in the OmniLite wallet, I'll send them an NFT. So what you want to do when you do the search is go up to... Are
you this peak right here?
No, go up to, let's see, I think it's number 430. Type in 430.
Up here?
In the search, yeah. Type 430 and see what comes up.
I'm glad you're not 420. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, because it just okay, it's LTCFU. Click that.
Are you kidding me?
Just click it. That's an NFT that I created. It has all the details, and it's got a link there for the URL. Go ahead and click that URL. And that URL field. Nope, down there where it says URL. Yeah. Yep, keep going. A few more.
Oh, here.
There.
Oh, my gosh.
There's an NFT that I created on the Litecoin network, baby.
I knew something like that was coming.
LTCFU. And there it is. If you want one of those, email me and I'll send it to you. And I've created other ones. Back up one more. Back up. Hit the back button.
Okay. Doesn't care.
Type in, I think it's like...
You have such a love-hate.
Type in 431 maybe. I got like 4 in a row. What's that one say?
Just Westwood, but there's a warning.
Yeah, and that's the thing with the OmniLite Explorer. I think it's because I did too many Westwoods, and it's like, wait, there's a duplicate out there. No, there's not. Go ahead and click that and see what that one says. Okay, down there where it says URL, where it's crossed out, highlight that where it's crossed out. Highlight the whole thing. Yep, then copy it and then paste it into a web browser. So right-click it and copy it.
Okay.
And then paste it into a new window. This Gurkha is making me thirsty. Look at that. NFT on the Litecoin blockchain. Right there.
That's pretty dope, man.
Isn't that freaking cool? I almost said the wrong word. Cool.
That's amazing. I want that. I want that one.
Epic.
I'll send you one. You got to download the OmniLite wallet, though. I mean, you got to download, go to omnilite.org, download the core wallet, and then you send me your address and I'll send you one. There's only 84 of them. And what I thought about doing, it's like, wait a minute. I can make these 84 NFTs, and if somebody has one, maybe they can come to Westwood if they have one, and then they got to turn it in. You know what I mean? Maybe they have to give that up, and and then I have it. And I can issue these, for people who can come to the Westwood thing. I'm just thinking, happy hour might be the same kind of thing. We make happy hour NFTs. You want to go to the after hours party? You got to have the NFT. I don't know. I'm just playing around with it, but I've got some NFTs out there. download that wallet, email me. It's on my website, clintwestwood.net. Hit the email link, send me your address. I'll send you some NFTs. This is, I mean, this is where we're going. That's why I've held on to it, because I want it to be on Litecoin.
Well, I was waiting to do the to use, Glasswalker made our happy hour images, and then he made me into like a superhero for another NFT thing, which I need to follow up with him on that. I can't remember where that is. And then I can't remember.
Daddy-O, I owe you one. Just send me your address. If you got that I'll send you one. And that's the thing. You can download the image and right-click it and save it. But the thing is, you don't have the token on the blockchain. So if you're standing at the door and the velvet rope's up and you want to get in, hey, send me the NFT, because that's your ticket to get in. If you don't have it, see ya. I got somebody like Paulie P standing there saying, can't come in. I'd be like, nope, can't come in. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Paulie the bouncer.
Right. I mean, these are things that, here's the digital space, intruding into reality. And that's really what it is. And I talked about it in my video today. It's like, it's a digital asset. It's a digital weapon. It's a digital tool. But the thing is, you got to realize what you want out of reality, because we live in the real world. And if you buy Litecoin right now at $111, when in 6 months it's at $1,500, how does that change your life, and what can that do for you in the real world? Use that tool to do something in the real world, so that you can be free and take the stress off, and and be able to do what you love, and use that tool. Use that weapon.
$11.
111, absolutely ridiculous.
We could go below $100, man.
Cannon is going to be so mad.
No, but
I don't even want to.
But the thing is, he owns a piece of that pie. I mean, and at some point, like Cliff said in his videos, it will be unavailable. And it's only those people who are willing to sell. I'm not willing to sell.
It is true. I mean, I have crypto that I've lost 90%.
Exactly.
In the past few months. But I know I don't think. I mean,
but you have the coins. You haven't lost the coins. No,
but
you lost the value.
In Federal Reserve,
I've lost the value. This is my point. Yeah. I've lost the value because it's not going back. But Litecoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin, they're always going to go back. It's that. There's those class of cryptos you don't lose unless you sell, but there are coins that they're not going back. Neo's not hitting $150 again. There's cryptos that they're done. Once they lost all their juice, they're just dried up. But when it comes to, you can explain that to Cannon, like Litecoin's going to come back. It's not like one of those.
It's a fixed
Pokemon
asset.
cards may not.
Yeah, but there's a fixed supply of it. If you had a Nolan Ryan rookie card, and I got a story about that, and I'm not going to tell it, but I had a Nolan Ryan rookie card at one point, or had access to it and could have bought it for $100 and didn't buy it. This is when I was younger. I mean, what's that worth now? There's only so many out there. And to have that asset, to have that in your possession, to own that, how many people, Kansas City meetup, Lisa, how many people, remember that dollar bill I ripped in half? You signed half of it. I signed the other half. How many people have access to that? You can make that an NFT. Yeah. I have both sides of it right here, at the bar. It's a relic. It's one of those things to where it's like that moment, that time, nobody can replicate that. And if you own that piece of art, I mean, what's that worth to you? What is that moment, that experience worth to you? And that's really what it comes down to. That's what art is. It resonates something in your soul and your spirit that takes you to another place that gives you, that vibratory, that frequency, that, connectedness, whatever it is. It gives you something in your heart that changes you. What is that worth? Especially when, in Federal Reserve note value, when all they do is print more of it. You want real assets. You want real things. You want, what's the case of water worth in the desert? There are some things that are important in life. And, what's the price? What is it? And if you have it, are you going to give it up? I mean, at some point, are you going to give up your Litecoin? Well, it's going to take a lot to take it out of my hands.
Oh my goodness. Our long lost friend is back. Beer and chicken wings.
Thank God. I was really worried about you.
We were worried about you.
Where have you been for the last month? You're scaring me to death. Here I am thinking the worst, and I'm reaching out to you, and you don't respond, and holy cow, thank you. You're here. hopefully
Phil
you're
was
on
talking
vacation.
about the IRS not calling you their scams. I've got the perfect thing now when scammers call. I just like take the wind out of their sails. Like I get called all the time about my mortgage. They're like, you can save all this money on your mortgage. And it's like, oh, I paid my house off. Like you did? Yeah. And they're like, well, have a good day.
They're like, well,
all right.
would you like to take out a refi on your?
You know, they throw them. And with the IRS fake call, they're like,
They don't
I'm
even
an
know what
IRS
to tell you.
agent. Like, you are? Like, you don't know that? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Hilarious. Good call, Sean.
Right. And didn't I tell you that story, Lisa, about my grandfather, being on the school board in a small town, like 200 people when there was still high school, and 200 people, in the town. There was still a high school there, and he was on the school board, and the banks came in, talked to the school board and says, hey, we can give you all this money, and I'll give you these loans, and all this stuff. And he said, but we don't need the money. What are we going to do with it? We don't need it. And that's what it comes down to. It's like, do you really need it? Do you really need to participate in that vampire system at the local level when you all support it and you're all on the same page? That's where we need to get to. We need to get to that point to where it's, you know what, we don't need your system anymore and we're opting out. And that's where things like Litecoin
me and
and
Lisa were talking
cryptocurrency
about that
comes
on
in.
Tuesday. I saw these statistics and it made a lot more sense. They explained things because, when parents were standing up and saying, hey, what are you doing this? We don't want this. We don't want that. And the school boards were just like,
do what we want.
And the reason for that is because they're getting more, literally, this is not like an exaggeration. The schools have gotten more money in the past 3 or 6 months than they have in all of history ever.
Yeah.
So, and
hospitals, same way.
Well, yeah, a year ago, the CDC said it would be super expensive for us to get everyone back to school and get everything going up the way it needs to be would be like $21 billion. And then in the last year, those schools have received $129 billion. And they still weren't back up and running.
Okay, so but there's something going on with that.
It's obvious that they're getting kickbacks or getting money.
Okay.
Yeah,
but there's something going on with that. Hold on. Here it is. So on Oklahoma, our Oklahoma governor is a patriot and brilliant. He's put in different EOs to protect us that were constitutional as this nightmare has rolled out. On this Reddit, it says Oklahoma Governor Stitt has approved an EO approving state-funded employees to fill in for teachers. Here in Moore is an Oklahoma police officer subbing at a school in Moore. Notice the Q coffee mug, which I don't know if you guys can see that. Maybe I can blow it up. And then there was recently a bill passed, or maybe it was an EO, even by the town idiot, Biden himself, where they're going to start paying, or they passed $15 minimum wage for federal employees or something. So they're going to start letting, is this part of the like, okay, we're going to fix this. You guys create a shortage here. Fine. We'll fill it, but with minimum wage. I don't know. I kind of feel like this is going to be, but this little coffee mug has a Q on it. And so these police officers are filling in for the shortage. So the school unions, the liberal school unions are like having their, we can't work because it's dangerous.
Oh, Chicago schools. Yeah, they closed down right after.
No, this is in Oklahoma.
Well, I know, but I mean, it's just another example. They're like, well, we can't go back. It's not safe. We don't feel safe.
But this is in Moore, which is near Norman, where the libtards all are.
Yeah.
But
wasn't every state red in Oklahoma? I think the whole thing was red, every county. If you look at the map, I think even Oklahoma City.
Possibly.
I think that was like the only state maybe that was all red. And, it's like whatever.
Very possibly.
Yeah, but I think it was. And even the Sasquatches out on the east side, of the state, they all voted red.
Hillary land, yeah. But so I just think there's something to, I don't know, there's something to this. So They're approving state-funded employees to fill in.
My daughter even said that, she's like, you need to go teach. I mean, and substitute, because they can't have in my area, they can't get enough substitutes in because people are sick, from this or that, whatever it is, the cold,
or they're not. Yeah, they're not.
And it's just like, I'm like, nah, I did that, and I don't want to do it. I'm not going to go and participate in that system. And if it collapses, it collapses. We had one-room schoolhouses where we taught. I go through my grade school daughter. She's second grade, and we go through the math that they teach. And I said, do it this way. Quit doing these blocks and, lining all this, and doing all this, and all these diagrams, all this crap, like it's diagramming sentences in English, which, I'm an English major and I hated that stuff, but it's too much science for me. But, it's just practicality. It's like stack the stuff up, borrow from here, put over here, done. And, go back to the old way of adding and subtracting, the basis. And they're trying to deviate from that and make it 3 steps instead of 2 steps instead of 1 step. And it's just absolutely ridiculous what they're trying to, deviate our minds from, the students' minds from. And it's just, they're overcomplicating it, and they're making it so ridiculous at this point to where, my grandfather knew more than, the people that come out of college know right now. And he, never went to college. And it's just absolutely ridiculous what they're trying to do. There's no common sense. There's no critical thinking. But that's where we're at, because you've got unsound money fueling unsound policies, and that's what they want. They want to dumb you down. They want to keep you in the darkness. They don't want you to think for yourself. Follow the rules, follow the orders, and it's no different than the meme I saw today. It's like, okay, here's a school system, here's prison. Here's a school system, here's prison. And it looks the same. That's where we're at in society, and we're funding it all. Quit funding it. Walk out of that system. Find another way. We have another way with crypto. It's another weapon. And that's why you got to bleed the energy out of that old system. Don't feed those vampires.
Well, and the lie is that they're teaching your children something. You think you're removing your kids from a system that they're learning something. They're not. They're being indoctrinated. They're spending hours away from your family. You're lessening the bond with your children. They're being indoctrinated, learning, what the teacher thinks, that they should have a safe space and that they should have, this and that. And they're really not learning that much. It's a lot of busy work. It's a lot of lining up in the hallway. They're being taught to comply. They're being taught to follow the rules. They're being taught not to ask questions. Don't ask questions. You memorize and you repeat. You memorize and you repeat. That's what public school is.
Absolutely is.
You're not missing out on teaching them anything if you remove them from public education.
If you want to learn, if you want to get schooled, you need to listen to Litecoin Lisa. You need to go to her Patreon. You need to listen to everything she says. Watch her show every day. You'll get more education than the $200,000 you're going to go into debt. You go to a public school and get drunk all the time. Just watch Happy Hour. You can get drunk and learn stuff every Friday. Why would you even do that at
and
this
have
point?
Great community when you join in the live chat. If you guys are watching
look at all
this
these
now
beautiful people. You got to
and
look
you're
at all these
watching
people
it later,
School should teach people how to think. Instead, they just teach them what to think.
Exactly.
And it's not working.
Exactly.
Nailed it.
Exactly. Well, and that's where I love this classical conversations is the curriculum that we found, where we have the co-op day, where we have, we meet with the community and we get our curriculum, and it's an exhausting day because you're learning. Cannon's with me, but basically we're learning together what all we're going to study for the week. And, but we get to have, community with the other kids and all that. But then throughout the week, however we choose to, roll that out. So our math this week is all about, 8 ounces equals a cup, and how many
you should know if you're trying to make bread,
quarts are in a gallon. Yeah. 4 quarts are in a gallon, and 2 pints are in a quart, and all this stuff. So they talk, there's a timeline of history that we're doing, ancient history right now. We're going through that. It's just, and they encourage
the Reagan administration, ancient history.
No, they're talking about the Turkish, oh gosh, I don't know. Now you're going to make me remember.
Byzantium.
Yes, the
Constantinople.
Byzantine times, Constantinople. Yes, we're
Yeah,
all
Eastern Church, had the split.
The Ottoman Empire.
Schism of the church. Be
What was it,
careful. I'll start
1450
singing for you.
1453. Amen, sister.
Yeah. Be careful. It's all like with music. So I'll start singing for you here in a minute. But yeah, it's pretty amazing. But what I love about it is they encourage the kids to ask questions. The kids do a presentation every Tuesday. And so the kids get up and they do some kind of presentation, different things. And then the other kids are encouraged to pay attention because their assignment is to ask questions of who's giving the presentation. And I remember it was so bizarre. Like I met these little kids and they're all making eye contact because they're taught to make eye contact and ask questions. So they're like meeting canon and they're asking him questions. And I'm like, oh, you meet kids nowadays, they won't make eye contact. They won't ask you questions, whatever.
Hang
and
on,
it's just
let me
normal.
finish this text. Let me finish.
Everybody, it's like I think kids are taught nowadays, which is very weird. They're taught to be bisexual.
Disengaged.
They're taught to be disengaged. They're taught to be bisexual. They're taught to be socially awkward. Mm-hmm. It's literally
like you said earlier.
You're wrong.
Something's
wrong with you if you're outgoing. Something's wrong with you if you're not socially awkward. Something's wrong with you.
Lisa, pull up a picture of Baphomet. Baphomet. Mm-hmm. Pull up a picture of that, and then that'll explain.
You want me to have all this?
No, you'll be fine. It's not
every time that I've been on with him, he's asked someone to pull up a picture of
I know, and it's like because
I'm
it's
just going to
relevant.
put that every single
but it's very relevant though, because if you look at that, then you get it. Then you understand where society's going, because there's a certain, whatever you want to call it, a cult, a certain belief in the leadership that wants us to be this way, that wants us to look like this. Pull that picture up.
I am trying. Hold on.
It's usually black and white, when you pull it up like a statue. The statues out inside of our public buildings now, you've seen the nurse, the statue, the nurse, that was unveiled in Europe. Yeah, just pull up, one of those statues.
It would be cool to have wings.
Right.
It would be cool to fly.
Well, and they usually have like children.
Don't get too close to the sun, Icarus.
But yeah.
But I mean, when you look at some of these images,
shave that beard, my God.
Oh my goodness, yeah. But I mean, you look at this, it's usually an androgynous being, and you think, okay, is that what they really want? Yes, that's what they really want. They want this androgynous being that's male and female that has no identity to become.
Okay, honestly, last time you said pull a picture of Baphomet, I went and looked. I do not see androgyny whatsoever.
And that one, no.
I see an alien or
that
weird
too.
creature, but I don't see androgyny at all. I see.
Look at the other one. They got breasts on them. I mean, that's not a good one. I don't think.
Okay.
There's.
I picked the wrong one. Sorry.
No, that's all right. I mean, but it's different.
But it's not human.
No, it's not at all. But people worship this stuff, and you don't worship it. We don't worship it. But the thing is, the powers that be worship this stuff. That's what they believe.
There's one with
look at
boobs.
that. And so it's this male female energy combined, and where everything's distorted, everything's just, you are not, you don't have no identity. I mean, you're just kind of lost in this purgatory
Is it a torch
thing
in the middle of its head?
I don't know what it is. I mean, somebody can analyze this. You guys have a whole show on this, and
go
through what this means.
I was thinking about this week, because there's a preschool, not a preschool, a kindergarten that has a Satan club, a Satanist club that they started. Obviously, the parents started it. I mean, come on.
Right.
But everyone was pissed because they have this Satanist club after school club.
Mm-hmm. And I saw the news about them.
And then I was like, oh, that's terrible. But you have to let it. You have to accept
Yes.
it.
Here's the thing. In a public school, you have to be very careful, because you cannot, the minute you say,
then there goes FDA.
Yeah. Then you can't pray either.
Yeah. So I was
the minute but it's the double-edged sword, because that's where like all these little Christian moms were like, oh, I want prayer in the church. I want prayer, or I want prayer in the school. I want prayer in the school. I was like, be very careful.
Who are you praying to?
Because one day, you might want prayer in the school, and because you're thinking it's going to be to your God. But when you're in a public school, then One day it's going to be Satan's day for prayer to
Well,
lead the school.
no. That's the thing. It can be
Yeah.
prayer, and then it has to be left open. But if prayer is in school, I think it's nothing but good because it's like conversation. Because if you look at what's out there, and this is something I didn't understand since I was 5 years old, and I still don't get these dumb broads that say, "Oh, I don't believe in God, but I believe in angels." And I'm like, "Oh, you're a dumb. Okay, how can you say that? How can you say you don't believe in God, but you believe in angels?" I mean, they're kind of like hand in hand. So people that would be like, "Oh, God's, I don't believe in God," but they would like
What do you
believe in
think
magic
made
and the
something
devil,
divine? Yeah.
but they believe in like the devil. I'm like, that's moronic. So, and then as a child, I never understood Satanists because I'm like, if you believe in the devil, then why would you want to side with them?
Why do you want to be a loser? Because you know what happens. You've read the book. What's wrong with you?
At 5 years old, dude, I got
100% agree with you on that.
I was like,
and when you
why
said
would
that, I'm like, exactly.
It's like, hey, I want to go into racing. I'm going to race NASCAR, but I'm going to ride a bicycle. Why?
It's the same thing.
You're going to lose. So why? I didn't get it. So I think if you open up prayer, just period, it's like crypto. If they look down the rabbit hole, they're going to know what's best. They're going to learn how things work. So if children who are not exposed to anything with religion or spirituality, if they are exposed to something, then they're going to, if they're taught, critical thinking, they'll question.
That's the key.
They'll look into it, and then they'll make a decision for themselves. And if you have a brain in your head, it'd be like when I was 5 and I said, why would you go with the loser? Just my opinion.
What's he doing? Oh, he had to bail on us. No, I agree with you. I mean, the story, and that's the other thing. Mom even brought this up today. Like, the concept of time is a man-made thing, and so the story's already been written. Light wins, God wins, and so why would you choose the loser? Why would you choose Satan and the darkness?
It just seems like such a,
and all of that.
And time is so weird.
Sense.
Even if you think of like, if we were just on Mars, how long a year would be, how long a day would be. Everything changes,
Mm-hmm.
Which we're going to. I mean, our species will eventually leave this rock, and we're going to branch out to other places. So time is going to have to change to be some kind of universal time, or universal date, like in Star Trek. We'll have to have star dates.
Interesting. Very interesting.
So it's like UTC time that we never understand. It's like, hey, we're going live at 5 UTC, and we have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, if we were broadcasting to the, the outer space colonies, we'd have to have a certain time, Hey, what is 29 o'clock here in Eastern time on Earth?
Right.
As long as there's an app for it, I'm
Right.
okay.
Can we convert that and it's automatic? And
yeah. Right now, I have some friends in Australia, and that is my biggest challenge, is lining up times to meet with them. I'm like, okay, so Rita, when is it? And it's like always nighttime there for them until about like their daytime starts, I think about it's like our 2 or 3 p.m. is like their morning. Cause she's like, oh, I have to go take my child to school. And I'm like, it's like 3 p.m. So it's very confusing to me. Yeah, it'll be, as long as there's an app for it, I'm down for it.
And yes, Jenny Moonstone, I'm going back in the chat. Yes, I am still a certified teacher in the state of Illinois. And so, yes, I can step into the classroom anytime I want. And, they say I'm good to teach.
You are. That's why we do our Happy Hour Roadshow, and Westwood teaches our class. We had a great class. So if you guys are not already a Patreon member, we had our very first class on DeFi with Johnny Litecoin a few weeks ago. That was a lot of fun. And now I keep compulsively checking my different wallets and seeing what different gains I've had and trying to sweep my coins and put them in lending and all this. But you guys can join. It's the $20 a month down the rabbit hole with Lisa. We had an extra class this month with Westwood Wallets class. And in the comments of that post, I gave some additional information for moving your coins from Coinbase or an exchange to your personal wallet. So that has been posted and loaded for everybody that is on the Down the Rabbit Hole and any other membership on the Patreon. And then next month, my buddy Satoshi Sean is going to join us for. You've got a lot of information about DeFi, but I wanted to really focus on the play to earn opportunities, because I think there's a lot of people that could do that play to earn and also introduce their children to the play to earn options. Because I tried to do one with Canon and it was super difficult. And you were like, don't do that. Just do the Doge Dash and use this wallet and it'll be so much easier.
Was talking about Australia, and then Crypto Tonight came in. He's in Australia.
Right.
Oh, hey, Crypto Tonight. Thanks for joining us.
Yes,
Welcome,
from our
welcome.
8.5 hour live stream last night.
He's alive.
He's waking up.
He's waking up.
What's live today? What can I get into?
Yeah, I don't even know. What time is it right there where you are right now, Crypto Tonight? It's probably Crypto Today where he is right now.
Yeah, it probably is Crypto
The sun's
Today.
coming up.
His buddy AJ, he's a cool guy.
Hey, Papa.
He was from the Cook Islands, and he was talking about he wanted to create a Cook coin and then like bring it back to the prime minister and try to, because he was talking about the Cook Islands. I didn't know a lot about the Cook Islands. It's an island nation.
They got giants there, don't they?
There's only 17,000 people population. He said 30, but I looked it up and said, so it's probably, somewhere in the middle, I guess. But it looks really awesome. It looks like a beautiful place, like Hawaii, Tonga, that area. I do want to talk about Tonga. We talked about Tonga on Tuesday, last week, and how they were moving towards crypto, and then they got hit by a bunch of bad weather, and
that was crazy.
A bunch of bad stuff, and then you see videos to where something might have created it, on screen, to where I don't know.
Hey, Papa Joe.
They're gonna, Papa Joe, brother, come out here and we'll smoke a cigar together. I'll tell you what, it's
how cool is it going to be when all this nonsense is over and we can do meetups in Australia,
everywhere.
That's what we were talking about. I said we should do one in the Cook Islands because it looks amazing. You can look it up. It looks amazing. But the whole industry is tourism, and they haven't had it for all this time. But it's like this really cool place, and I love waterfalls like a lot. And they have this really cool waterfall. And then I asked AJ about it, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, that's where that was my tribe's that's where my tribe's waterfall. It's like this tribe's that's his land.
I want to be in his tribe.
Awesome,
it's a good tribe.
There's 15 islands that make up the Cook Islands, and he's from the big main one, which is where I wanted to go. But I said, hey man, we should have a meetup there. We were talking about this last night. How cool would it be if we could have a meetup, on the Cook Islands, and then talk to them about bringing crypto in.
That's insane.
Paulie's right. Beautiful. I'm going to have to take the SS Minnow out there or a canoe because I don't fly. So it might be a long trip. But you know what? They made it to Hawaii, so, getting that canoe and, I might make it out there at some point. I'll start now.
No, we
have. Why don't you fly?
What's that?
Why don't you fly?
I never liked flying because I'm kind of I like to be on the ground. And then with the current BS that's going on, I don't want to give it power. I don't want to give it energy. I'm not going to follow those rules. I don't want to do it. It'll change. It will. But man, when you're mandating certain things for pilots and you got pilots coming out saying, you might have an issue, flying a plane because of, what's been, put into you. I mean, it's concerning to me. It really is. And I just, man, you're putting your life in their hands. And I know everything's dangerous, everything's a choice, but I choose not to do it at this point. I just never liked to fly. I just didn't like it. You know, I've done it, but you know, it's just
I didn't know if you were, like had a phobia or what.
No, I mean, not necessarily. I don't like being high up. I don't like, but flying's different. You know, standing at the top of Sears Tower, now Willis Tower in Chicago, whatever they call it now. You know, that kind of stuff. I really don't like. I don't like leaning over the rail, of a condo or anything. You know, I'm not good with that. I went to a museum when we were in St. Petersburg for our meetup, the Salvador Dali Museum, and they had this spiral staircase with glass all around it and steps, and it's just like I get woozy. But flying's not so bad once I'm in it because I'm talking to God the whole time because it's just that's how I feel. It just seems so unnatural because I don't have the wings. But I just don't like to do it. I really don't. But yeah, I get it. If you want to get somewhere far to the far reaches, you kind of have to fly. But yeah, I don't know. That's just me. I just don't like flying.
I think we can do it.
If Litecoin Lisa says, "Hey,
if I make him,
I'll go." And it's the thing is, you got to hold my hand on that flight because
drag him kicking and screaming,
and they better have some strong alcohol on there. Some
he gets
bottles.
really cranky before.
Or we
then
can
we're there.
You talk Beatles into going, and then he gets the private jet, and then we all go on a.
You know what? Then I might be game for that because I'm with people I love, and if something were to happen, then you know what? It's like, hey. I'm okay with that.
I want to go to Rarotonga. That's the main island, and it looks really, really cool.
Lisa, he's got a private jet.
I was like, wait a minute.
The Litecoin Lisa jet.
I just sent him
she's the blonde hair flying first class flying. Litecoin buying R8 driving. Litecoin Lisa.
Don't forget, we do download Monarch wallets at all of our classes.
We do.
I want to get my pilot's license. And there's a plane I want to buy. It's a A1 or A1 something. It goes. You can land it in the water. You can use it as a boat. The wings fold up. You can drive it around the street.
Wow.
That sounds like I used to have a Barbie thing like that when I was little. It was like
inspiration. Actually,
it was a bus. Also, you could put it in the water.
It's like a James Bond thing, take to the male side.
It is very James Bondy. It is very James Bondy.
And there's a guy that I live in, that's like 2 miles that way, who in the summertime when it's nice out and there's not a lot of wind, he's got his little, one-seater with the lawnmower engine in the back and the parachute, and he flies around, and I wave, I say, "Hey, Steve, what's going on?" I wouldn't mind having something like that because I know I could crash into the cornfields and be all right. It's like a go-kart, attached to a parachute. And I mean, I could do that kind of thing. But it's just, you put your faith in somebody else's hands, those two pilots in the front. And I hope that
we've got it. We've got the narrative. We're clear on all that.
All right. I'll leave it. Leave it at that. Have another cigar.
Long Shadow says his arms get tired when he flies.
Man, and the thing is, I'm a sandwich between these people. If I could fly first class, if I could have a private jet, I'd probably be a lot better. I'll tell you
what if Snippy picks you up? I don't think that Snippy's helicopter goes.
I'm putting a link in the private chat. Pull this video up and play it. This is an amazing, cool plane, and you don't need a pilot's license to fly it.
But it probably doesn't go all the way to Cook Islands.
That wouldn't. But you could go to all over the U.S. and stuff.
Okay.
It's an option. I want a jetpack.
You can land on any body of water at the lake, wherever.
And you don't need a license to drive that?
Because it's a small sport aircraft or something like that.
And it doesn't get up high enough or something?
Well, it gets up high enough. But it's about
weight. Run into people? I thought it was about crossing people's pathways. Man.
Next thing you know, you see a blue light and you disappear and you've lost 3 years.
So that's like the wings fold up. You can try. It's so cool.
So it runs on beach runways.
It's before catalytic converters, so it runs on regular gas. What movie was that from? Lisa's going to give me a copper bar. It's maybe Satoshi Sean will, if you know it.
So when Bond flew the little helicopter when he was pretending to be Japanese.
You're gonna make me
That
send
movie?
people. You're gonna make me go to the post office
I think
again.
I'm turning Japanese.
Damn it. Okay, hold on. Let me grab some copper.
See, isn't that like it's so cool, man?
I dropped something.
Are you okay?
Party foul.
Our table, it's broke. Oh no!
No, I dropped something. Sorry. I had to move everything because I did a photo shoot for my headshots. So like my desk is a mess.
Anyway, I want that really bad. It's $250K.
Wow.
But it would be the awesomest.
Well, and that's what I said today in the video. Crypto is a tool that can make things happen. When you get to that check box and you can check that box because of crypto, check the box. Make it a reality. Do it. If it's $250K, hey, you never know. Litecoin right now, $113. Multiply it times 10. What do you need to do? Do the math. Buy enough, be free.
All right. What was the question? Because Meatloaf died, so I figured we would do Meatloaf questions.
Louis
Meatloaf
Anderson died
today.
Bob Saget died.
Forget Bob Saget because he's a disgusting
I knew
pedophile.
that was a trigger point. That's why I brought it up.
Yeah.
Everyone loves him. Everyone talks about how
he's a great guy. He was a wonderful man.
And kind he is. Everyone's talking about him like crazy.
Sam Kinison died too today.
Really?
No.
What?
He's been dead for a long time.
He's been dead for a long time. But today is also Paul Stanley's birthday.
Is it?
I have no idea who that is.
Years old.
Who's Paul Stanley?
I'm going to play some music, but then we'll get the
We
channel.
can't play music because, I get strikes.
Well, I don't know if it was Westwood singing or if it was the music. I'm not sure.
I'm sure it was a little of both.
It was probably both. Like when Lisa's channel gone. Blame it on Johnny.
Gone. So since I brought Amy back onto YouTube, they resurrected the warning from like whatever that had expired that I got a warning from her. And I'm like, that warning expired. Why is that back up? But it's back up.
No, the warnings don't expire. You only get one. That's why it's called a warning.
Oh, but it went away or I never saw it again. Oh, because then I got a strike. But then my strike was removed.
Strikes get removed. Warning.
Yes.
You'll have that forever.
McDowell's
you got a warning, so you've had your warning.
Okay. Because I was like, why is that back on showing on there? Okay. So what was the question and who do I have to go to the post office and deal with all those?
I don't even know at this point.
For?
What was it? It was made before catalytic converters, so it runs great on natural gas. I'm thinking natural gas because I was thinking about that today and how efficient it is and how good it is to have some. Liquid propane's better, but it's a car made before catalytic converters, so it runs good on regular gas. You traded the microphone for a Cadillac? I can see that. Okay, there's another line. I just gave it away.
Hey, it's too many. It's too many.
Too many? It's 106 miles.
You know what we're having for dinner? You know what we're having for dinner? 5 whole chickens.
See, Satoshi Sean's on it. Five whole chickens and some dry white toast.
Dry white toast and a Coke.
Yep. You got it, brother.
I got a new microphone.
Yeah.
Like,
hey! Are you guys? Are you two with the police?
I got a new microphone.
The light was yellow, sir.
No,
6 months ago or more.
Oh no, it's Skamaz.
Now I don't think I'm nuts. I put a Beatles song out there. It takes people 18 hours to guess the song.
I remember that. And I'm like,
it's always like that.
And
Whenever
Prince
I say
and
what
Beatles.
We have less than 10 minutes because I promised my husband that I would be off of this. Did Polly get it? Blues Brothers. Thank God.
That is the Blues Brothers. What was it?
Polly,
1981 or
Don't tread on me.
Paulie P, you win a watch. A Litecoin watch.
No, he does not, unless you're sending it to him.
I'll supply it along with the Don't Tread on Me.
Send it to him.
Paulie P, next time I see you, I get a Litecoin watch from you, from the Coin Vigilante that I've got for you. It's black on black. It's absolutely on Westwood because I love you, brother.
Aw, that's sweet.
Yep, I got one waiting for you.
Well, now
That
I'm
is
not
very
even
nice.
that motivated. You're gonna outdo me.
Lisa says, take the watch and grab a copper coin or silver coin, whatever you got, and give it to Paulie.
Okay,
Done deal.
give it to Paulie.
Done
Paulie P. We
And
love our
Charlie
Paulie
could
P.
give us at least a 10-minute extension. You know, next week I'll leave it up to
No,
him.
this is already an over. This is a 2-hour stream at this point.
All right.
Like, he's gonna come knocking on the door.
Hey, aren't you in Illinois?
I'm in Illinois. She's in Oklahoma.
Man, you know what I hate? And I hate Illinois Nazis.
Illinois
he's
Nazis.
He's in, like mid to southern Illinois.
Lisa has no clue what's
I
going
know.
on.
Illinois Nazis. I hate Illinois Nazis.
Oh, are you guys on another movie
Man,
now
I
or on
hate
the same
Illinois
It's the
movie?
same
Nazis.
movie. Same movie. It's
Okay,
classic. I mean,
let's
there's so
move
many
on
options.
because we
Next.
still have next. So now we're doing the Second Amendment. So now we're on to meatloaf.
Meatloaf. Love meatloaf.
So what can we do for meatloaf?
74 years old. I mean, you know, the guy with so much energy, you know, and moving that weight around, you know, I can really empathize, you know. Just an absolute, just amazing theatrical talent. I mean, Meatloaf. I mean, some of the great songs. I'd play some right now,
Yeah,
but we don't want your
great play.
channel taken down.
But we cannot play any songs.
No, after hours. Maybe I'll do a Spaces or something on Twitter later, and we'll play some Meatloaf. But it's. I mean, what an amazing talent. But yeah, 74 years old, passed away recently.
How did he get his name, Meatloaf?
That's a good question. I don't know that.
So yeah, if you hadn't have said how old he was, we could have used that as a.
Oh, that's the question. How do you get his name?
That is the question.
Who gave him his name?
That I don't know.
Was he given his name?
Yes.
Do you know that? Okay, so who gave his name? Who gave him his name?
You get a copper round. You get a copper bar.
It's really simple.
Really?
He's just trying to hypnotize us.
Yes, I am
Right, I
Charlie
know.
G.
I know. This is where we're at right now. Join my Patreon.
Join my Patreon.
Yeah, I was going to ask
Join
about
my
that. I was going to
Patreon.
go with that,
I'll
Mr. X.
teach you lots of
One of those
things.
movies.
You will learn many things in this world.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, his family, Nancy Iceman. Iceman.
Nancy knows a lot.
His family, they used to call him Meat, and then they called him Meatloaf when he got older.
Okay.
They always called him Meat first.
Thanks, Mom. I will send you a coin. And she got a 2A. Okay. Last one.
Coach named him. Nice.
What's our question going to be? I love these, by the way. Sean,
Yeah,
when
me
you,
too.
these are like probably my favorite ones.
Me too. What
The
did I send
little-
you?
Oh, so
You
The
sent me
$1 or the
all-
$100?
I think these are the dollar ones.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
the
have
$1
$1
ones.
They're really cool too.
But I think these are so cool.
Which reminds me, copper, how valuable it is. I looked earlier this week. If you go to coinflation.com, you can tell how much metal is in each coin. You know, the U.S. has circulated in the past. The penny right now, prior to 1982, is like halfway through 1982. But any penny prior to 1982 is guaranteed to have enough copper in it to be worth 3 cents. So a penny is worth 3 cents in copper value before 1982. The nickel right now is worth, 6 cents or more because it's got 75% copper and 25% nickel in it. You go to your bank and say you got a one-armed bandit at home, I got this nickel slot machine at home. You can go buy copper and actually make money at the bank. I mean, you get a $2 roll of nickels, and the copper and nickel value of it is worth more than 5 cents. I mean, that's how you game the system. That's how you
I really want to stop making pennies because it costs more to make.
Exactly. And they're going to do the same thing with nickels because it's got real metal in it. That's why in 1964, when they took the silver out of it, and we talk about this in the class, minimum wage in 1964 was 5 quarters, $1.25. That $1.25 in those 5 silver quarters equals how much right now? $22 because silver's up. I mean, so if you had saved that instead of those paper notes, you would actually kind of be keeping pace with inflation because real metal, sound money. And so you got to search out those things that have sound value in them and hold them. I mean, that's really what it comes down to.
Okay. Last question. So you said Meatloaf died, and then you guys said somebody else that I have no clue who it was.
Yeah, he was
Louis
just
Anderson. Louis Anderson died.
But Louis Anderson is Meatloaf, right?
No, they're different.
A separate
I
person.
love
Louis
you
Anderson.
so much.
Louis Anderson, like I know. Louis.
Sorry.
I know, she's so innocent. I love it.
I know, so cool.
Louis Anderson in Coming to America
Thanks.
worked at McDowell's, and there's a famous clip.
Oh, I do know who that guy is. Okay.
Yeah, and he said, right now I'm on this station. Next thing you know, I'm gonna be on the Fries, and then I'm gonna be assistant manager, and that's where the big money is. And it's just kind of.
Oh, he's so creepy looking.
Family Feud.
I mean,
I think he might
shouldn't
have
say
at
that
some
about a
point.
dead person. That's terrible.
His host Family Feud. He had that cartoon when we were younger.
Life with Louis.
Life with Louis. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
He was
God bless him.
like Bill Burr, but not as bad. Like his life growing up, it wasn't as bad as Bill Burr's life, but it
And
was
he's like, oh, Louis.
one time my dad pulled a gun on me. His dad used to pull a gun on him all the time. He'd be like, hey, go do the dishes. He'd be like, but I don't want it. And his dad would just take a gun and cock it. He's like, okay, I'm doing the dishes.
All right, I'll do the dishes.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Life
He
with
would tell
Louis.
stories about that all the time. My dad pull out the
You
gun.
think you got it rough. If you were born in 1970, then you'd realize how rough it is.
Yeah.
So part of it is that we didn't have TV for a while growing up. Like we were really poor and lived out in the woods. And we did not have TV. Like the only thing we watched on a TV was at my parents' when they would come. When they weren't working, we would go to Sam's and get to buy videotapes. And so I watched Red Dawn a gazillion times because we had it on VHS. And I love Patrick Swayze.
I know, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And I love Emilio Estevez.
Explained so much.
Yes. And so I miss a lot of pop culture because we didn't have TV for a few years of my life because we lived in the middle of nowhere.
We're catching you up.
So I missed out on some of that pop culture stuff. So I don't understand. That guy looks, I don't want to talk badly of the dead, but
he didn't look healthy when he was alive.
Creepy. Yeah, he has a little bad vibe to him.
That thing, dude, in the cartoon. Pull up the cartoon so you can get a picture of the cartoon.
Life with Louis.
It's that face on a little fat kid. It's exactly that face on a little fat kid. And he did the voice.
Okay.
He did the voice, but he would be a little nasalier. Oh, come on, Dad.
Oh, Dad.
Do you see the picture of him? It's
I'm
that
trying.
same
Hold on.
face, man.
Oh Lord, that's awful.
It's not a happy hour unless you get an oh Lord from Lisa.
See, look at the one cartoon, and then that's him over there on the second line.
Yeah.
It's exact.
It seems wrong. Okay, can we hurry up and come on with a comment? Because I got 2 minutes and then I got to go be at dinner.
She got 2 minutes. We're done. We got to make.
I got 2 minutes.
I ordered dinner while we were on the stream. So
the Uber Eats are knocking at the door. They dropped off the bag.
Talented.
It's sitting on the porch. You got to go out and get it. It's getting cold. Well, I guess,
Hi, Michelle.
Westwood, if he finishes anything
Welcome,
out,
Michelle.
how he finishes it, right, Lisa? It's, be true to yourself. Trust yourself. Don't listen to the powers that be. Don't listen to the talking heads, the mockingbird press. Don't listen to those 3-letter agencies that have been funded with fake money, because that's where we're at in society. And, thank God people are waking up because they see the fraud that it is. And you just got to believe in yourself. You got to trust yourself. Surround yourself with good people. Surround yourself with people who are like-minded. Go to a meetup. Go and realize and
hold on.
validate
Okay,
yourself.
to win the next silver, what is what Talking Head song am I thinking of? Since you brought that up,
What's Talking Heads?
I do love you so much.
I know. It's just
Talking Heads song.
What is this beautiful life? What is this beautiful person? What is it?
This is not my beautiful wife.
That's it. You got it.
I really,
Satoshi
we
Sean, I
do
love it.
need you on these shows, man, because
I'm going to come over to Satoshi Sean's
and
house and I want to play some
and
video
Lisa's
games.
like, I don't get
and
it
we're going to
every
talk all
time.
night live. Playing video
Burning
games.
down the house. It's burning down the house,
Oh,
Jim.
man.
Not burning down the house.
Burning
But no,
down the house.
I was going to go that. Psycho Killer.
Is that it? Oh no,
It is not
is
Psycho
Polly
Killer.
right?
Nope.
I have no idea. It's Daddy-O says
Actually,
home.
someone already said it, but it's there. It's like I'll tell you. I'll
Once in a
explain that
lifetime.
later.
Once in a lifetime.
Which one is right?
Paulie P said once in a lifetime.
Did he?
Yep.
Where is it?
I gotta look it up to make sure I'm doing it
I
right.
think that's
Polly.
it. I think he's right.
Oh, good. Then I only have to mail 2 of them to one person.
Or we just wait until Paulie P shows up at the next meetup because we need to have something in that area, in that triangle of North South Carolina. And
No, he is not right. I have the correct.
What is the correct answer, Mr. Satoshi Sean?
I have the correct answer. It is not.
Charlie G says same as it ever was.
Same as it ever was. Same as it ever was.
Is that an answer?
The days go by. Why is it like this? It's
What's the title? What's the title?
Well, it's like.
Has someone said the answer yet? Is what I'm trying to say.
Yes, but you can't give it. It's not. It doesn't count because it was Clint. So shush.
Oh, so way to go, Westwood.
Yes, you see now you got to try to remember what he
Shut your
said.
yapper.
What you drinking tonight, Lisa? I don't think I ever knew. What was it?
I'm drinking Tito's and Aha.
Aha. Okay.
Because I gave up the aspartame because Uncle Cliff said so.
I'm so glad you did because that turns into formaldehyde when you drink it in your body.
Uncle Cliff said so.
Not same as it ever was.
Everybody let go of the same as it ever was. It's not happening.
Not burning down the house. Burning down the house.
No, somebody drop it in the chat.
Not.
You've got all the tools at your fingertips. Look it up. Do it.
Yeah.
Drop it.
And you've got, I'm late.
Oh, yeah.
Paulie says, once in a lifetime. He's shouting it out in capital letters.
Where's the world going? There's a hint. What do we always talk about? Talking head song, Daddy-O.
And in pursuit of this goal, FBI agents used a wide range of weapons, disseminating misinformation, creating animosities, and generally spreading havoc among the target groups.
Imagine
During
that.
those same
That's us.
1969
That's so weird.
inauguration ceremonies,
I've never
the
heard of
Washington
that.
field office of the FBI discovered that persons who were attempting to coordinate and control the demonstrations, the marshals of the demonstrators, were a very useful and helpful group of persons in order to keep the demonstration orderly. Now, what did the FBI do? They found out what citizen band was being used for walkie-talkies, and they used that citizen band to supply the marshals with misinformation and pretending to be a unit of the national mobilization to end the war in Vietnam, countermanded the orders issued by the movement. Report after report about meetings of women who got together to talk about their problems. Now, how the Bureau got this information is not entirely clear, but it's apparently by informants. So we have informants running all over the country, checking up about what housewives are talking about in their efforts to decide whether women should have a different role in the society. Footnote.
Oh, women should have a different role.
What's that guy's name? Well, who is that saying that? That was a
FAO Schwartz Jr.
Is that who it is?
Chief Counsel FAO Schwartz Jr. That's what it says underneath his title.
Not Psycho Killer. Whoa. Crypto Mojo.
Whoa. We have a winner.
Road to Nowhere.
Ding, ding, ding.
Praise God. Crypto Mojo. You're going to need to put your... How are we going to get your information? Because
I was about to start just saying the lyrics like I was just talking.
I know, right? It's
It's
a poetry reading.
We don't know where we've been.
Mojo, you will need to send me your mailing address so you can message me on Twitter or just put your mailing address underneath your comment of in the live chat.
You should go to Lisa's Patreon and join, and that way you got a secure message directly to Lisa. You have a pipeline.
Yeah, that would be a great way for me to
And it
actually.
supports Lisa and her channel.
Yeah. And anyone claiming to be Crypto Mojo, I will not believe you.
And this one's for Polly. Oh, I want to take you home tonight.
What?
Oh.
Calling home tonight. What? Okay, don't play any music because I get the thing on.
For a second, it was locked.
Okay.
Polly says wrong.
Tell your girl.
Polly, I got a watch week.
your girl
just
home.
back off, man. Come on.
All right. Love you guys.
You guys take care. It's good hanging out.
All right. Love you guys. Love everybody in the chat.
Love y'all.
Trust yourselves.
On Monday, everybody.
Bye.